He made me start over at 65. The letter tray by the kitchen door was empty, though it had never missed a week of statements. Beside the dining table, a torn airline ticket still showed one word, Vietnam. My jaw locked without warning, as if someone had pressed a weight beneath my tongue. I stood behind the glass door, watching my reflection vanish in the evening glare. How many women wake up one day and realize they do not know what is happening to their own money? Evelyn Porter had lived her whole life in Kentucky. At 64, she had finally retired from the county hospital in Danville, where she worked as a nurse for more than 30 years. She was the kind of woman who remembered every neighbor's dog by name, who still wrote birthday cards by hand, who ironed her pillowcases on Sundays. Her husband, Bruce Porter, was 68 and already retired when she joined him at home. He had worked as an accountant for a small insurance firm in town, a quiet man with square glasses and a fondness for old maps. He mostly stayed in the study, tinkering with budget spreadsheets and watching the stock ticker scroll by. They lived in a modest red brick house on a small hill just outside of town. Evelyn kept the garden neat, grew tomatoes in raised beds, and saved seed packets by season. Bruce managed their finances. That had always been the deal. He would say, "You took care of people for 30 years. Let me take care of the numbers." And she believed him. It was the kind of life that looked quiet from the outside, safe, predictable. Their wedding photo hung by the coat rack, a photo of two people who, at one point, had trusted each other with everything. But something began to shift that spring. Bruce started taking more phone calls late at night. He would step outside to the porch. Talking low, Evelyn did not ask. She assumed it was something to do with their taxes, or one of his old co-workers reaching out. She noticed a locked drawer in his desk that had never been locked before. One day, she found real estate pamphlets in the trash with prices in Vietnamese dong. The name on the mailing label was not Bruce's. It was not hers either. She asked him about it. He laughed softly and said it must have been a mistake. Some mix-up with an online search. He had always been the quiet one, but in the last few months, it felt like he was not quiet. He was silent. Evelyn had planned to spend her 65th birthday visiting her younger sister in Bowling Green. Her sister was recovering from a stroke, and Evelyn wanted to help for a few days. Bruce insisted she go, said he would stay behind to prepare a surprise for her birthday. She kissed him goodbye at the kitchen door. He handed her a lunch bag and said, "Do not worry about anything here." That was the last thing he ever said to her. When she returned 3 days later, the house was too still. The living room curtains were drawn. The air smelled unused. She walked into the kitchen. Expecting the usual stack of mail and bank statements, there was nothing. The drawer, where Bruce kept the important documents, was empty. His desk was bare. The family computer was gone. She checked the dining room cabinet, where they kept extra checks. Gone. On the edge of the dining table, as if dropped in a rush, was a printed e-ticket with one name cut off. The destination was Hanoi. Evelyn opened the kitchen laptop, the one Bruce never touched, just to see if there were any login records. Everything had been wiped, even the browsing history. She stood still, trying to breathe through something she could not name yet. She called the bank. After long minutes of silence, the woman on the line said, "I am sorry, ma'am. Your joint account was closed. 3 days ago. There was nothing left. Not the emergency fund. Not the travel savings, not the long-term CD she had added to faithfully since 1993. Bruce had taken everything, quietly, legally. He made me start over at 65. Her throat closed like a door. She could still hear the hum of the refrigerator, but her ears had gone hollow. Her legs, once so firm from years of hospital shifts, felt strange beneath her. She walked to the backyard, holding one of Bruce's old glass mugs. She did not remember picking it up. She did not know why she was still holding it. Near the tomato bed, she knelt and pressed the mug into the dirt, upside down, a grave marker for the years she would never get back. Her hands trembled as she stood. He had not even left a note. Not even that. The wind picked up. The clothesline moved, though there were no clothes on it. She leaned against the post, not crying, not speaking, not yet. In the dark, she whispered into the emptiness. I should have asked about the numbers. I should have asked years ago. Then, softer. Maybe I knew. Maybe I did not want to know. She stayed outside until the sun disappeared behind the oak trees. No one called. No one came. He made me start over at 65, and all he left behind was silence. What broke her was not just the money. It was the slow, quiet way it disappeared while she believed everything was fine. At the heart of this story is a truth many women avoid confronting. Just because he handles the finances does not mean he owns them. Just because he pays the bills does not mean he cannot betray you. Evelyn had believed she was safe. She had built a life on trust, never questioning the man she married. But Bruce had been moving money for months. He waited until the right moment when she was away. When her guard was down and then acted, that is not miscommunication, that is planning. The legal term is dissipation of marital assets. It means one spouse intentionally wastes or hides shared property, often right before divorce or separation. In Evelyn's case, Bruce drained accounts they had built over decades and funneled them into assets she could not access, hidden under someone else's name in another country. But this kind of betrayal does not happen overnight. It grows slowly, under the surface. Evelyn never asked for passwords. She never checked account balances. She believed silence was respect, but in reality, it allowed financial control in marriage to settle in without resistance. He told her not to worry. He told her he would handle everything. And she let him because she loved him, because she trusted him. This is the trap so many women fall into in later life. Trust replaces transparency. Routine replaces questioning. And then, when it happens, the shock is not just about money, it is about how easily it was done. This was not an accident. It was a late-life betrayal, planned carefully by someone who knew she would not suspect him. He made sure everything looked normal until it was too late. Then he left with nothing but clean folders and closed accounts, even if there is no legal divorce yet, even if she never signed any papers. The financial separation had already begun long before Evelyn realized it. That is why experts often warn about asset hiding before divorce. If one spouse starts transferring money, changing account names, or opening foreign holdings without disclosure, it may be too late to stop it unless action is taken immediately. But Evelyn's story is not just a cautionary tale. It is a reminder. If you do not ask where the money is, someone else might take it and never tell you they did. Trust does not mean ignorance. Love is not a reason to stop paying attention. Marriage is not immunity from deception. And silence is not safety. Do not wait until the garden is empty. Do not wait until your name is gone from the paper. Learn what is yours, know where it lives, and speak, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because if you do not, someone else might already be packing your future into their suitcase. Evelyn did not crumble. She started with what she had: her name, her records, and her memory. The first thing she did was sit down with a legal aid attorney at the Boyle County Family Law Center. She brought every piece of paperwork Bruce had left behind, every receipt, bank notice, and retirement summary she could find. Together, they traced the final 30 days before he left. The attorney helped her file a formal complaint to the court, citing dissipation of marital assets. That filing froze the remainder of Bruce's reachable financial activity in the United States. It did not bring her money back from abroad, but it stopped the bleeding. Next, Evelyn requested a forensic accountant through her legal team. This specialist tracked hidden account movements, unexplained transfers, and digital evidence of property purchases overseas. Every detail helped build a case to show intentional asset removal, something Bruce had tried to hide before even filing for divorce. She filed for divorce herself. That choice mattered. When a spouse files first, they set the stage. Evelyn's claim included financial control in marriage, showing the court that Bruce's management of their funds had excluded her for years. It was not a clean fight, but the law was on her side. Kentucky follows equitable distribution, not equal division. And with enough evidence of manipulation, late-life betrayal is not just emotional, it becomes legal strategy. Bruce lost his claim to any further division of the remaining accounts. What was left, Evelyn kept. The house had already been paid off, and though Bruce tried to push for a sale, Evelyn presented proof it had been refinanced and maintained solely under her effort for more than 10 years. The court ruled in her favor. Then she turned inward. Recovery for a woman at 65 does not look like revenge. It looks like a new bank account with only your name on it. It looks like walking into the community college and signing up for a senior workshop called Managing Your Own Retirement. It looks like closing the door to the study and never opening it again. Evelyn did not chase Bruce. She let the paperwork do that. Her focus was not on punishment, it was on peace. She planted new vegetables in the garden. She signed up for a book club at the library. She wrote down, in a small blue notebook, every question she should have asked years ago. And she started asking them aloud, without apology. Because asset hiding before divorce is more common than most women think. And Evelyn knew the only thing more dangerous than losing your money is not knowing it is already gone. She kept going. She did not move on, she moved forward. She made a life where everything in her house, her wallet, and her future had one thing in common: her name. If you are reading this, and something feels off, do one thing today. Print your last 12 months of bank activity. Circle any withdrawal you did not understand. Ask where the savings are. Ask who controls the accounts. Open a checking account in your name alone. And if someone tells you that you do not need to know, that is your first sign you do. There are women like you watching this, women who kept quiet too long. Comment below if you have lived it, or if you are afraid you might. We are not here to blame you. We are here to say you are not alone, and you can still protect what is left. Starting now.